Today I am talking with Paul Clemente. He's a local comedian extraordinaire, and he and some other comedians in the Jamestown and Chautauqua area has put together a troupe of comedians called Karate Sleepover. They do some stand-up, improv, and some sketches and some other bizarre workings. Thanks for talking with me.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I've always dreamed of being on here. I've been a fan for years.
What got you started in comedy?
I guess I've always been interested in comedy. I started a website with my brother back in 2010, so it's 7 years old already.
Wow.
And it was just when blogging was on the cusp, and we did it kind of just to share our childhood stories, and then we started filming things. We did short films, we did sketches, and it was just a lot of fun. It was like when I was at my most happy doing those things. And then things changed. He actually went into stand-up a lot earlier than I did. He moved to Chicago, started doing stand-up and music. And then I was kind of left with nothing to do. And then, being a dad, you kind of pay your dues and put your time in and watch your kids grow up and do the right thing. And then I realized I missed it. That was like when I was the most happy, just doing filming and comedy and just performing and being in front of the mic. And then it was right when I did Chautauqua's Got Talent that I realized, wow, I really miss having a mic in front of me. I really miss talking to people and being a personality.
Yeah.
So right after that, I was like, I got to do something. And so they're doing an open mic at the Q on Thursdays, and I talked to Rob Will, who kind of heads it down there. He's like, just come out. It's a cool scene. And of course, I'll be honest, everyone thinks the Q, and they're like, yeah. And I thought the same thing, but I went down there, and it was a great scene. Everyone was really supportive. Everyone shakes hands. Good job. Here's some advice. Here's this. Let's have beers, let's laugh, let's share jokes. And it was awesome. And I never stopped since then. So
Great. Yeah.
Just kept going.
Well, it's cool that we've been building up another scene, like we were talking before filming.
Absolutely.
We had a little bit of a drought, kind of, besides the wits and giggles. There used to be a lot more open mics everywhere, and kind of had a little bit of a downtime, I guess. What do you love about improv, exactly?
Improv, I guess if I had to pick, I actually have a little bit more fun doing improv, although it's close. Improv's like a different skill set.
Yeah.
I always compare it to like MMA and like boxing. If you ever done either, it's like completely different mindset. Boxing is more defensive, and MMA is more off. It's just a different way of thinking.
Okay.
With stand-up, you're kind of your own brand. You come up, and it's all you. You tell a story, you're in control of everything. But in improv, your goal is to make your team better, or who you're working with better. And it's kind of like, assist in basketball or hockey. You're always passing, and you're always setting people up for jokes, and they set you up for jokes. So it's a little bit different. It's a little counterintuitive at first, but it's a different skill set that you learn. And I think improv can get a little bit more off the rails than stand-up. Stand-up's really structured, and there's some memorization involved with it, but improv's more... a scene can turn from being on the moon, and you can end up, in the jungle at the end. It's really fun
Just
that way.
Way all out there. Most people probably think of whose line is it anyway, and that's a really good
absolutely
starting base, I think, for people to understand. Like, oh, okay, like it's all about games and working off of each other and going with it. What challenges have you faced in Jamestown doing comedy?
Well, that's a fair question. I think one of the best answers I can give is there hasn't been many.
Okay.
I'll have to say 2 weeks ago I went out, we did another program real quick. We did an interview, and after that we flyered the town, just old school, putting up flyers everywhere. And we went to a lot of businesses, and a lot of those businesses, I'd say all but one, was incredible. Just supportive. Oh, wow, there's comedy going on here. Great. Sure, I'll put it up. Nice to meet you. I'm this. And just shaking hands and talking to people. Everyone was incredible. So there wasn't that many. I feel the one thing that people do have to overcome is getting more local people down there, encouraging people to come out and support the scene. I know a lot of artists, and artists are really good here about supporting other artists. Like, you can go to, a comedy show and you can see poets and musicians and comedians and filmmakers, and they're everywhere, and everyone shakes hands, everyone's cool. And you don't get that a lot of places. I'm sure if you've been a part of other scenes, you don't really get that often.
There's a little bit more of a competition between each other. But here, I think it's more of like, hey, really good. We're all working toward the same goal. Let's work together. Yeah.
So sorry I didn't answer your question really. No. I kind of turned it into what I wanted it to be, but it's true.
What exactly inspired the Karate Sleepover group and the specific name?
Well, we were all doing stand-up for a while, and these guys came from Salamanca down, and I just saw them, and like usual, if anyone new's down there, I try my best to make them feel welcome, because being behind a mic, it might seem easy, but it takes a little bit of, I don't know what the right word to say is, but it takes a little bit of bravery to go up there and talk, even if you're not good, or if you just ramble. Just being in front and all eyes on you. So I want to be supportive myself. I can only control what I do. So I went down and I shook hands with the guys. Thanks for coming. Glad you're here. Where are you from? Chat, chat, chat. And then they kept coming down. And then they have a show up in Little Valley every Tuesday. So I started going to their show. And we got along really well. We all just sat together and we were laughing. Let's try and do something. So Damian Stokes is one of the members. And he said he put it all together, kind of recruited people. Jim Drain, M.W. Barrick, and Andy Young, which all of us make Karate Sleepover, put us all together and said, let's try a sketch. So we wrote a sketch. But then this Lucy Fest thing came up, and we're like, well, we kind of need a name if we want to be booked. And we had something like 300 names in our little Facebook thing, and there's no profound reason why we picked it. We wanted a name that we could either be booked at schools or bars, something that was funny but not too bizarre, not offensive. And I think it's right in the middle, and I think it's curious enough where we get a lot of questions about our name.
Oh yeah, it definitely stands out.
There's not really a good answer for it. And then in my head, I think it was more, I know we're both fontophiles. We both like fonts. I had a font in my head first.
Okay.
And that's what made me pick that one over anything. I was like, I have a font in mind for it would look cool on the t-shirt, and that's what we see now on the posters and everything.
Yeah, well, I like that font for that. So props.
I know we both love fonts.
And it is an interesting name. Like, it stands out enough that it intrigues you to read the poster and go, okay, what is this? Yeah. Like, rather than just, comedy group 5.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or if it's like a legitimate Karate Sleepover, like, I'm interested too. What could that be?
That would be a great sketch right there.
Yeah, have people
the origin story.
Do karate all day. That'd be cool.
Oh man, in high school we did a little short film, and we actually have a sleepover in there, and we wake up and we start a pillow fight and hitting each other. So
that's the best.
Yeah. So coming up this weekend, Friday and Saturday, you have a couple shows. You have at the Labyrinth at 9 p.m. Stand-up comedy showcase.
Yes.
And you and the whole Karate Sleepover?
Everyone but M.W. Barrick, because he thought the Dropkick Murphys in Boston was a little bit more important than becoming a local superstar. No, we always tease him. He's out of town for that weekend. But the rest of us are going to be there. Jim Drain, Andy Young, Damian Stokes, and myself will be there Friday. We're going to be doing different sets than what we're doing Saturday. So
okay, so you're not going to see the same thing.
Yeah, we're going to do something totally
and
different.
Then Saturday, the Karate Sleepover team will be at the Q doing a comedy showcase at 10 p.m.
That's the big one for us.
So 9 p.m. Friday, 10 p.m. Saturday, and you can see a whole bunch of different takes on comedy. And you have a Facebook and a YouTube where you can see a little bit of the sketches that you've started working on and kind of the taste and flavor of the comedy. Facebook and YouTube.com/Karate Sleepover.
That's right.
And we'll link down below. Is there anything else?
Can you make it appear if I do this?
Yeah, we can do that. I need to learn some Adobe After Effects, actually.
Sparkle.
So, anything else you want to say? I don't know. I think we touched on everything.
I guess one thing I always mention, is, I think I touched on it before, is how great the community is. And I'm very happy we have a comedy scene. A lot of people don't know. I know the musicians do really well promoting themselves. So we know we have a really good music scene here.
Yeah.
We have a lot of talented musicians. They get booked everywhere, and they're all fantastic. We have a poetry scene that's thriving.
Yep.
Those people are fantastic. They have a whole Pulse Poetry Slam. I'm not sure if you covered them before, but I think it's common knowledge. They do a great job putting themselves out there. But comedies, I mean, we're coming back from the dead, as you said before, and we do have a comedy scene here, and it's not just myself in our group. It's other people, a lot of hardworking people, and there's a lot of funny people out there, and I'm really happy that it's happening, and I'm happy that, you know, Forte on Thursday, I love being able to shake like 24 hands. Hey, how you doing? How's your thing? You know, it's fantastic. Everyone gets along, and I'm gonna just enjoy it as it's happening, because it's great, and everyone is really supportive, and I can't say enough, and I know this is why you do what you do, is that our town is more amazing than people give it credit for. It's not just, you know, drugs and Walmart, basically.
Yeah. Well, we have a great, you know, WRFA does a great job with Jason Sample doing interviews.
Which I was on last week. It was fantastic.
We'll check that out too. We'll link to that if it's on SoundCloud.
It is on SoundCloud.
And, you know, a few years ago when I started this, the point was to give a visual outlet. You know, there's not a whole lot of video coverage of things. So
I think
that's why I've stuck to it. You know,
in the Insomniac that we were that you ran, there was dozens of people involved, and the quality of work was it was up here. It was incredible, and just knowing and just getting to know people from that, and it's like we have a film community here, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's not just like dudes with.
It's not just a musician community. I mean, it's a full-on arts community,
and it's profound.
If we stick with it,
you
know. Will be,
and it's encouraging. It's great. Like our theater community is fantastic too. I hate not to mention those people. Just everyone I've met from getting really involved with your community here is just I'm blown away. Yeah. I've been blown away these past few months, and I'm very thankful for everyone I've met, and I'm thankful for everyone's support. And that's why we're doing it. We're supporting local comedy. We're not, you know, getting people from Cleveland and Buffalo down.
Right.
Everything is here. We're booking here because we have the talent pool. We can do it. We can fill seats. We're funny and capable enough, and we have enough support from the community.
Check it out this weekend. Friday at the Labyrinth at 9 p.m. and Saturday at the Q at 10 p.m.
Thank you. Would appreciate everyone's support. Thank you for having me on.